What's up, guys? This is Keith from theScore esports, and this past Wednesday, we chatted Valorant on Twitch. Colin, Dan, Devin, and I went deep on the game's release, on its newest map, Ascent, and on its newest agent, Reyna. Make sure you're following us at twitch.tv/theScore esports so you never miss an episode of Clouted. We're live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. But there's just one big question that remains about Valorant. Can it really make it as a big-time esport? Well, here's our take.
Speaking of hills, the new map in Valorant is called Ascent.
All right.
And I know you guys have taken a brief look at this. I was doing so before we hopped on here because I haven't played Valorant in like quite a while. And it's an interesting map. It's 2 bomb sites. Mid looks like a complete maze, and there's a couple fun things to talk about if you're into CS:GO. So this map has doors on it, but they're not like, you know, squeaky on cash or like the door to con on overpass or whatever, where the tactical gimmick is like you hear them and you can open and close them and you can find a line of sight through them if you shoot them. These are like almost like barriers that drop down, and you have to flip a switch that is somewhere else on site to make them do that. This looks like more a tool designed to A, defend bomb sites, but I think B, much more relevantly, to defend against retakes from attackers. The CT side, the defenders, have easy access to the bomb site. They can rotate back and forth. They can get to them very efficiently, very quickly. So it's definitely seems like a defender-sided map. So I presume that the doors are put in there partially to mitigate that and give maybe attackers a way to help against retake.
Yeah, also I'm interested, like, because they close kind of slowly, right? Like there's a okay. I wonder if you, like, Sage can throw her barrier up and stop it from closing type deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's
before
weird.
it fully
yeah.
closes.
That's actually something I haven't even. And you know, Devin was talking about this earlier that if you're Jet, I mean Jet's gotten kind of a lot of shit early on in the game, that she's kind of this like solo queue agent. Before I call her hero, she's kind of this like solo queue agent that can like flash around the map but doesn't really do much in a team context. But if Jet becomes this agent that is a way to mitigate the effect of those doors by sort of flashing through or doing the dash through, I think you know, maybe she's got a little bit more value than what people think.
On one map.
On one map, yeah, on exactly one map. Look, one thing I'll say about this Valorant announcement is that we clearly got a lot right off the bat, right?
They say that you can see the devil dance on idle hands, so we put in work. Amen. Yeah, ain't no killing this energy, spilling from the spirit, them lyrics being. They are nothing to me.
I mean, what's cool about that is we got to see, you know, most of the trailer was on Ascent, the map we've been talking about. And then we also got a look at Reyna, which I think we want to talk about right after. There's this cinematic that gives us a bit of a look into the sort of lore of the game as well, which we haven't got any look at, right? We haven't met any of the characters or anything like that.
Phoenix, please tell me you have the package.
I would if somebody was a little less aggressive. I got this.
미안해서 어쩌나?
I want you guys to tell me about the new operator because I actually don't know anything about her, and she just visually looks hella cool. Tell me about, sorry, is her name Reyna?
Reyna, yeah.
Yeah, tell me about this.
Okay, so I'll give you the basic rundown. So, in short, what happens is her utility is number one, a flashbang that's very good, and I don't think flashes your teammates. Hiko was talking about this on stream yesterday, and then her other utility is actually kind of interesting. So basically, the important thing to know is that you can't use it until you've killed somebody. So until you get a kill, you can't use it. And then when you get a kill, you more or less steal their soul, and then you can use the soul steal for one of two things. The first one is to become invulnerable for like a small amount of time. So you can you can't shoot, but you can get away. And then the other one is basically like a lifesteal. Like once you take the soul, you can give yourself life back. The gameplay to me, in some ways is not very team focused because like it is this snowball-y solo queue hero where you're like, get a kill, heal, get a kill, heal, get a kill, heal, and you can't really do anything until you entry frag. But it is another character like Phoenix where you are a designated entry fragger by design based on the way the kit works, right? But when you ult, you get like a movement boost, you shoot faster, and
increased rate of fire,
yeah, and you have an increased rate of fire.
It resets once you get a kill, though.
Yes.
It does a reset on a kill. So the idea is that you pop this and you kill 4 people because it just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Grand Shell says in the chat, enemies also get highlighted, so it makes them easier to see.
It highlights something that Valorant has going for it, in my opinion. I mean, there might be different opinions, but in my opinion, it's cool that Valorant has taken roles that have previously existed in CSGO and said, like, here's a character that best fits that role. So if I'm by nature, the way I play, an entry fragger, I can choose to be a Phoenix main. And if I'm by nature a more passive player, I could be a Sage main.
I've never liked the hard line classification of role playing in CSGO. Sometimes you read things by people or like you watch videos or whatever, and people talk about roles in CSGO as if they're hard locked, like it's like, League of Legends, where it's literally like, if you're ADC, like at the beginning of the game, you're in another lane, like you're on the bottom, that's where you are, right? But in CSGO, it's like, okay, lurker, like support player, yes, those are roles, but it's not like, oh dude, you're the lurker, you can only go alt mid.
Yeah, right.
You can't go to site with us, the game won't let you. Like I never liked that. So I know this isn't what we're talking about exactly, I'm kind of meandering here, but I guess I always like games where the roles are able to evolve organically based on pro play, matchmaking play, the best players deciding, hey, this is a strat, this is how we play this game, rather than a developer saying, no, this is how you play this game, which is more Riot, right? That's more of a Riot philosophy, I feel like.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they want to take, like, if they'll balance this game in a similar direction. I know it's a different balance team, but I wonder if that philosophy stands, where it's like, if people start using Phoenix in a more, let's say, supportive kind of way, or more as a lurker, maybe they're just like, no, we want you to entry frag with him. We are retuning his kit, so that option is taken away from you.
Agents in the initiator role are intended to challenge angles that opponents are currently covering, giving the rest of the team the opportunity to take territory on the map that might be in a more strategic position, whether it's offense or defense.
Scythe Zenith asks, what is our thought of what the Valorant competitive scene would look like, which I know is something we wanted to talk about, so we can kind of springboard off that. Riot's like, they've talked about doing, they're doing this tournament series, right? Like these online tournaments that are leading up to prize pools in each region, right?
I think basically they've announced a tournament, which Devin, I believe, is this weekend. Where,
this weekend.
Yeah, so there's like $200,000 in prizes, and they're going to do separate tournaments in each region. Which, I mean, look, I think we've all kind of set the record straight that our opinion is that you shouldn't jump the gun on the competitive scene. Like, there's a long way to go. We saw that with League of Legends. We've seen it with every esports scene. It takes a while to develop. But, I mean, this is a Riot-sanctioned event where they're advertising, the first Valorant Global Champion, and there's real money on the line. So, I mean, at the very least, this is a far cry from the streamer tournaments we've seen, where it's like, oh, well, there's $2,000 or $20,000. Like, this is real cash. I think there's going to be a lot of people out there looking to make their name in Valorant very early on. So, as far as esports, actual competition goes, I think this is going to be much different than what we've seen so far in closed beta.
Like you said, like it's not going to resemble what we're looking at for the next couple of years. Like it's just, these tournaments aren't going to be what the tournament looks like in a year, maybe not even in a couple months. Riot said they're open to third-party organizers doing their own thing before Riot decides to step in if they want to like run a league like LCS, or if things are just going to go like CSGO where it's all third-party. It's hard to say if an esport is going to be a big deal or not. One of the ways that it becomes a big deal is like good developer support, but the other way it becomes a good deal is like good narratives, good storylines, players that people care about. And the game is super new. Like, we just don't have those yet. I think it's Millhouse in the chat. Like, a real question: who is the big Valorant player? Like, I'm not sure. Is it Sinatra? Is it Hiko? But like, nobody is a big Valorant player yet who is a Valorant player who doesn't have this history from another game, and I think it's important to have that.
The best player in Valorant is not a name that you know or I know. The question is not relevant. Honestly, I hate to say it. It's just not relevant. This game just came out. Like, there's no point in asking it. Just watch, see who develops. In 2 years, I'll have an answer for you. This is something I think if we want to explore more, I would definitely encourage people to check out our Don't At Me's on Valorant that have come out in the last several weeks. I think we break down the point pretty extensively, so definitely check that out for our perspective on that.
Let's talk about skins.
Skins, yeah. Okay, yeah. This is actually a hot topic in the theScore esports Slack right now, where we've got some skin fiends for sure. Dimitri being maybe the most prominent.
Ryan.
And I know Colin's been down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I've certainly purchased a couple 2 or 3 Valorant skins. So Dan, why don't you break it down for us?
Okay, so like I understand the desire to buy skins. This is not what this is. I'm not out here being like, don't buy skins, they're dumb. Like, listen, I've bought skins in plenty of my favorite games, but like, how can you justify spending $80 on skins on a game that just came out today?
Yeah,
well, and I mean, to me, it's like if I'm Riot, I see a world where people are willing to spend $2,000 on a CS:GO knife, and I'm like, let's go, let's throw some money into the skins.
This is like win-win for Riot because they're like, well, we're not going to do the skin market, so we get 100% of the cut.
Right? It's all us, baby. Let's go. I will say, I think the Valorant, they put out a bunch of new skins with the game release, and I think one thing they did do well is not only do they have like the physical skins for the guns, but they also have all these like levels where you can like increase the quality of the animation of your reload, the way it sounds when the gun shoots. Like it is truly a cosmetic fan's dream.
It is. Riot knows their audience. They've been doing skins for a long time, and they know that CS:GO players are like horny for skins.
Oh, that's kind of, the reload animation's kind of sick. I want to buy that. I want that. Why can't I buy it?
Maybe before we move on, just a last verdict from everyone. What do you guys think of Valorant at launch? Is this the real deal to you? Or maybe you don't know yet, but for me personally, I think I want Valorant to be the real deal, and I am stoked that the game's out. Excited to play. I'm going to play, right now. Probably after.
I mean, I'll probably play some more of it. I had a fun time playing the beta, but like it super remains to be seen. That game is like early days. I'm also like not the FPS guy, so maybe I'm not the best take on it. But as a casual fan of first-person shooters, like this is more accessible to me than CS:GO is. But also it's not like, wow, this is incredible, I must play this right now. I'm not like dying to play Valorant at this very moment.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy it's out, and I want it to succeed purely just for like the health of esports, right? To have any game kind of have its own esports scene does nothing but wonders for everybody else, right? Like I think it's nothing but a good thing. So hopefully it does well in the coming months,
I'm fairly lukewarm on the game. I will definitely be installing it on my new PC. I had the beta on my old one. I'm gonna try to get into it. I really gotta force myself to try.
Yeah. I know that you had a little bit of an internal struggle, like, oh man, why can't we just play CS:GO?
Because every time I played it, I just wanted to play CS:GO.
You're like, I want to play Cash, I want to play Overpass. I don't want.
How can I have an experience that I don't feel is a shadow of a different experience?
Right.
And that's not a question I expect you guys to answer. I'm just putting that out there.
This is gonna happen because now that like obviously like Riot's got all these games in development, like this is gonna happen to me with their fighting game, I'm sure. I'm like, boy, this is good, but wouldn't I rather be playing this other game? So like this that's the kind of thing that happens with these genres. Though Valorant is probably closer to CS:GO than many of their other like concepts are.
Okay, I think I got it. Look, one of these times it's going to work out and everything is going to be fine. Colin is having the time of his life laughing at me. Devin's laughing at me on the screen to my left. Everyone's happy.